It's a new day, new life, new wave, hit the reset. I'm just trying to find grace, pick your poison or your pace. There's a lot we got at stakes, isolated in my room like I'm trying to save face. New revelation, all I needed was some space. When you don't know who to trust, turn your head up above. When I speak, give me utterance, fire in my lungs. Let these words bless the poor, cause it's dire in the slums. Give me strength when I'm weary, help me see the picture clearly. It's only the beginning of the ending with your face back. These niggas wearing hazmat, I'm clowning like class act. Plus they like to gossip, I ain't down with all that chit chat. They talk behind your back, I think they need a bitch slap. I hit them up with big facts. Nothing new under the sun, can you perceive that? It's like we playing freeze tag with the devil's rejects. Everything happened for a reason, best believe that. Out with the old and in with the new. They wonder why we do what we do, trying to make old things new. They wonder why we do what we do. They wonder why we shine like we shine and we move like we move. We ain't part of your high. They look me in my eyes like we don't welcome your kind. I'm like, fuck you very much, and the pleasure's all mine. See, I never fitted in, been a bit belligerent, won't suppress these sentiments. If you learn to adapt, you never out your element. Stay ready, well equipped, slice the beat and let it drip. Read a verse and let it rip. See, we do it for the culture. Ducking all these vultures, got the streets going postal. Now they want us quiet and we just getting started. We've been through the pain, broke chains, we lying hearted and we won't stop regardless. I know you see the hate in their eyes. See me remind them of the future they despise. It's more than just some rhymes, this book of songs and trying times. Read the signs, it's nothing new under the sky. How with the old life, what up? And with the new, they wonder why we do what we do. New breed, we trying to make old things new. To the world, oh, they wonder why we do what we do. What we do, they wonder why we keep going. This here's all the way to the finish line. See that? Yeah. Shalom, Israel. It's your boy New Breed coming through with another live stream. And if you like that track right there, I'm going to be uploading that song on New Breed's Music and Motivation. I actually got quite a few songs that I didn't even upload yet. And I was just going through my catalog and I'm like, man, I need to put these out. But yeah, that's called Out with the Old. And it's a dope track right there. It's actually very timely for this particular live stream because in that song I was talking about isolation and I was talking about actually hearing the words from the Lord, just being isolated, being on your own, being in that state of total reclusion. And it's important. And a lot of people, when they are forced to be loners, a lot of people take it as a curse, you know, that they're outcasted. And, you know, I got a lot of emails basically asking Bree, why am I being outcasted? What is going on? What is happening in my family? What's going on among my friends? And I said, man, I got to put out another lesson where we get the full spectrum of why the Most High calls us out of the world and separates us from everybody else. And the reason behind it. And we need the full lexicon of why this happens. And I'm going to go into a lot of scriptures today. This is going to be a good old-fashioned Bible lesson because we need to know the importance of why the Most High God made us outcast. But before I go into this topic, let me greet you all, the good people. We got Money Sniper in here. We got DJ Tatted. We got Highly Blessed. Terrence is in the house. What's good? Complex Simples in the house. Yeah, as y'all enter the chat, make sure y'all hit the thumbs up to allow the video to fluctuate. Yeah. We got Infinite Trinity in here. Man. Who else we got up in this joint? We got the Greatest in here. We got Indigo in here.
Rico's in the house. Jamie Rios. Hey, yeah, that's what's up, man. I'm glad y'all catching another live stream. Uh, you're in for a very edifying lesson here. We got to talk about it because, listen, I don't know about y'all. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all actually can relate to this particular topic. Anybody who tends to gravitate towards this content, they can relate to the fact that they always felt different. Like, this ain't nothing new. Um, a lot of us from childhood knew that something was just different about us. And I think this is why we gravitate towards one another. Um, the type of vibes that you put out, those are the type of vibes that you attract. And I know speaking from myself, hey, since a child I felt it. I knew something was different. And I know a lot of y'all know what I'm talking about. I mean, all the way from when you was in elementary school and you was on one side of the playground, all the other kids seem to be having a good time on the other side of the playground playing. But you on this other side of the playground and your mind is on something totally different, like something that your mind is somewhere else. You know, a lot of the times, a lot of us growing up, we were considered to be socially awkward, right? We was considered to be socially awkward. You had some elders in the family that recognized that we had something special about us, and then you had some that didn't understand us and they deemed us weird, right? You know, they like to throw that word weird out there. That child is weird. That child is strange. He's not doing what the other children are doing, or he's not acting the same way the other children are acting. He or she. And a lot of the times you got adults who are straight up demons that can see certain things in that child, and they'll actually try to suppress it or hurt that child when really that child is gifted. And I don't think a lot of times we don't recognize when a child is gifted, and this system wants to put us on all kind of prescription pills. They want us on ADD medicine while we growing up. They want us on Ritalin. They want us on all these psychotropics to try to dilute something that's peculiar about that child. And it's really something spiritual. It's deep because they're already standing out. You understand? They're already standing out as a child. That is a big issue that we seem to neglect when raising our children in this modern culture. Listen, it's natural for your child to be wired, um, a certain way and be hyper, so to speak, because they have so much. Their mind is firing on all cylinders. They got so much going on there, and a lot of the times, as these children grow, as they become young adults, young teenagers, young adults, or what have you, they begin to be outcasted because they become more intellectual than your average because they're seeing things differently. They see things through a kaleidoscope. And I know a lot of y'all can relate. And we got to talk about why the Most High God made you different. Why did he make you peculiar? Why did he make it so people tend to isolate or ostracize you? Why did he do this? What was the purpose? We're going to go into some scriptures today. All right. We got a lot of scriptures to go into. We're going to start off in the book of Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 18, verse 1. And it reads, "Do desire, a man having separated himself, seeketh and intermingleth with all wisdom." Through desire, a man having separated himself, seeking and intermingle with all wisdom. See, it's a passion and a desire for you to actually be close to the Most High God, to your Creator. What made you different is when you were born, right? You knew God was real. You knew it from the time you came out of the womb. When your name was mentioned in the womb and you came out of that womb, you had a desire to separate yourself from everybody else. It was always there. So no matter how many people you would get around, you will always have this desire, like, I gotta go be alone. I gotta isolate. I don't want to stand over there. I need to be able to process all these downloads and information that the Most High is trying to bestow upon me. So through desire, a man separateth himself, and guess what happens? He intermingle with all wisdom, with all wisdom. So now that you alone, you can process these things. Now people would say that's weird. People would say that's strange. Why does this person want to be to themselves? Listen, I can remember growing up, and I know a lot of y'all can relate to this. Just going in my room, closing the door for hours, hours on hours on hours upon hours, just being alone, just literally being alone, and my thought processes would change. And this is very important. This is very important. So through desire, a man having separated himself, seeking and intermingleth with all wisdom. But look, this is the issue. When you separate yourselves from people, people look at it as that's strange. That person is weird. That person is strange. Why is that person not communicating with us like we communicate with each other? You know, people don't know how to take that. They don't know how to leave people and give people their space. They don't respect one's time, space, energies. So people are so used to all this back and forth, all this communication. A lot of the communication you hear nowadays is vain communication. They're really not talking about nothing. They got conversations that really don't stimulate people like you. It just doesn't, because your mind is way up here. They way down here. Your mind is way up here. So it's like you just have to separate yourself. Now let's go to Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 11, verse 12. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations. Let's go back. Isaiah chapter 11, verse 12. And he shall set up an sign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcast of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. Now it says that the Most High will assemble the outcast that's dispersed of Judah. Now who is Judah? The so-called Negroes. That's who Judah is. Now it's talking about the Most High will begin to assemble all those who are outcasted. One may ask, outcasted from whom? Let's see. Outcasted from the world itself. Outcasted from family. Outcasted from friends. Outcasted from the world itself. And the Most High will begin to assign these people with certain duties and tasks to rule the nation to come. He shall assemble all the outcasts of Israel, gather them, the dispersed of Judah. Listen, even brothers of the Judea faith, brothers who know who they are, brothers who know their nationality biblically, at one point in time, even leaders, all the leaders, they had to go through that Damascus road. They were always outcasted. There was something that they had to go through where they were set apart. They had to go through situations where they were set apart. But this is speaking of the remnant. So what this shows you is the remnant of the Most High's people scattered abroad will be outcast. All right? Now let's let that be known. So it's not a curse to be an outcast. Now let's go to Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 17. For I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds, saith the Lord, because they call thee an outcast, saying, This is Zion, whom no man seeketh after. Yes. See, the Most High will restore our health. He will heal thy wounds, everything that you've been through, everything that's happened with friends, family, all the times where you were betrayed, all the times where rumors were spread, all the times where people isolated you purposely, try to hurt you purposely. The Lord says, listen, I will heal thee wounds. I'm going to heal your wounds. I'm going to make you a new person. I'm going to build your energy up. I'm going to make you something special. All right. And that's that say of the Lord right there. Let's go to Matthew. Let's go to Matthew chapter 10, verse 22. Excuse me. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. But he that endureth to the end, the same shall be saved. Listen, the Lord said you will be hated by all men for his name's sake. For his name's sake. Listen, if the world hated him and he ain't harmed nobody, he didn't do nothing wrong. All Christ did was heal people, heal the sick, you know, lay hands on people and make them be able to see again, make the blind be able to see, cast demons out of people. They hated him. So they're gonna hate you as well. It is what it is. This is the cross you have to carry. Usually when you say carry your cross, people think of wearing a crucifix and all of that. Nah, carrying your cross is dealing with what you dealing with your friends and family, man. Let's go to Luke. Luke chapter 10, verse 16. He that heareth you, heareth me. And he that despiseth you, despiseth me. And he that despiseth me, despiseth him that sent me. So listen, what they see in you is the light of Christ. Listen, when you are born and you have the seal of God on you, everybody want to talk about the mark of the beast. Let's talk about the seal of God. When you enter this celestial realm and the seal of God is on you, there's a light that shines through you. The angelic beings can see it, but also the demonic beings can see it. It's always with you, and that's why the Lord never really let you veer too far off. Like he never let you go all the way off the deep end to the point where you self-destructed. He always reeled you back in. He never let you go too far off. He had to bring you back. He had to pull you back in, right? That's because there's a light on you. And the minute where you are of age, where you can accept the truth and you know the truth and you make the conscientious decision to live holy and live righteous in this day and age, although the whole world is acting wicked as hell, the minute where you make that decision, your countenance changes. Literally, the structure of your face changes. Your mind changes. When you are out in public, you stand out like a sore thumb. People can see it. So if listen, they can also hear the difference from the words that you project. Listen to what Luke says again, chapter 10, verse 16. It says, he that heareth you, heareth me. And he that despiseth you, despiseth me. So listen, the words that we speak, how we begin to change, how the Most High give us the spirit of utterance, how the Most High gives us wisdom when we start acting different, talking different, thinking different. You got people who despise it, ladies and gentlemen. It's a fact. People despise it. They don't want to see your countenance change. They don't want to see you spiritually increase. They don't want to see you ascend to another level. They despise it because they despise Christ. Forget everybody who talk all holier than thou, acting like, they're Pharisees and scribes, like they're more righteous than everybody. Listen, a lot of these people despise the Lord because they don't honor the commandments. They don't ever talk about how Christ lived. They only talk about how he died. You understand? It says, and he that despiseth me, despiseth him that sent me. So you got to understand, people are evil. And there's a lot of people who are evil. There's a lot of people with various demons connected to them. And they despise the light. You got to know that. We go into Psalms. Chapter 27, verse 10. Actually, let's go to Timothy. No, let's go to John first. Pardon me. Let's go to John 15 and 19. And it reads, if ye were of the world, the world will love his own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. The Lord chose you out of this world, therefore the world hates you. Listen, if everybody loved you, right? If you were accepted everywhere you went, if you was the golden child of your family, if you the most popular person in every social setting and everybody loves you, think about it. Think about celebrities. Everywhere they go, they highly revered, highly acclaimed, and there's nothing wrong with that. Everywhere they go, they're getting awards, they're getting all of that, right? But do you think the average person who is used to fame and fortune, do you think they can handle the world actually hating them? Do you think they can survive it? That's the question. The Lord knew who to call out of this world. He knew who to choose. He knew who would have the strength to maintain. He knew who would have the strength to go against all odds. He knew who didn't give a damn if the world hated him. He knew who didn't have no cut cards, who was willing to go 100% full-fledged for his truth. You understand? So it says again, if you were of the world will love his own. The world will love you if you was of this world. But because ye are not of this world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. Just straight up hatred. They hate you. They hate you for anything you do. You could be doing the right thing and you're going to have people who literally hate you. You can be trying your best to change your life, change the narrative of your life, and people going to hate you. You can leave the streets, go get you a 9-to-5, start reading your Bible, start changing. The world is going to hate you for it. We got to stop thinking that people really have our best interests at heart when they don't. And I know people will listen to this and say, New Breed, that's negative. No, it's realistic. It's the world you living in. Remember, the Bible says broad leadeth to damnation. Narrow is the way. So it's not going to be a lot of people who are going to be rocking with you. Now, the Lord blessed. He blesses us to have balance in our life. You're going to have people in your corner that you can rely on. It has to be a balance between good and evil. Just know that the mass majority of people don't have your best interests at heart because you're not of this world. They are of this world. They're carnal. They're carnal. Second Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14, and it reads, be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship have righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion have light with darkness? Listen, be not unequally yoked. Let me tell you something. A lot of the times we battle against our own consciousness, having certain people in our circle. We literally battle against our own spirit. Because we want to bring people in our circle we know damn well is in secret competitions with us. We know damn well that the only thing they have to offer us is something that's going to ultimately destroy us in the long run. We know damn well they don't want to see us win. They don't want to see us flourish. But we want to have fellowship with these people. We know they don't believe in the Most High. They don't believe in Christ. They don't follow the truth. They don't care about a damn thing. They're not in preparation mode spiritually. They're unbelievers. They're literally walking dead. But because you like how they crack jokes, or you like how they look, or you like how they talk, or I don't know what it is about being around these unbelievers that we got to be gravitated towards them. If you're not around these unbelievers and you preaching the word to them, you have no use of being around them at this current moment. None whatsoever. For what? You're unequally yoked. What communion does light have with dark? You are the light bearers. The reason why you were made different, the reason why you are the person you are is because the Lord gave he gave you a responsibility here on this earth. It's time that we stop being hearers of the word and doers. Because if you're not willing to go through a brief moment of being uncomfortable, getting certain people out of your atmosphere, then you're not willing to go all out for the Most High. If you're not willing to detach from unfruitful relationships, you're not putting the Lord first. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship have righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion have light with darkness? Let's go to 2 Timothy. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 12. Yea, and all that will live godly in Christ shall suffer persecution. All that live godly in Christ shall suffer persecution. Did it say might suffer persecution? Did it say all that live godly in Christ? Maybe, 50-50, they might suffer some persecution. No. It says it straight up. It says, yea, all that will live godly in Christ shall suffer persecution. All of us. Listen, a student is no greater than his master. You can't expect to follow the truth of Christ, of the Bible, and think that you ain't going to suffer persecution. It's a given. It's a given. When you read this book, when you decide to unplug from pagan satanic holidays, when you decide to change your diet up and follow the dietary laws, temptation's going to come, persecution's going to come. When you decide to change your morality and actually treat people like you treat yourself, and actually have some love for people and decide that, listen, I'm going to be empathetic towards others. I'm not going to do anything to somebody I wouldn't do to myself. I'm not going to be out here mashing on other dudes' wives because I don't want that done to myself. I don't want nobody mashing on my wife or wives. So why would I go out and do that? So when you start morally, even when you're doing the right thing morally, people are going to persecute you for it. And I mean, persecution comes in many forms. It comes in many forms. I mean, you're going to have people talking. Depending on what type of family that you were born in. If you were born into a family that practiced a lot of occultism, Freemasonry, witchcraft, black magic, I done heard all kind of horror stories of people who've came into this truth after coming through a bloodline that have fervently kept satanic traditions. And if they can unplug and go through the persecution and come into this truth, yeah, somebody said Jehovah Witnesses in the chat. Yeah, I've had people come through the Jehovah Witnesses, which is ran like a cult. Literally, it's a lot of rape that goes on in the Jehovah Witnesses. It's a lot of women being silenced there. I done seen people come out of all kind of situations and go to the truth. And it seems like that our issue is just somebody that we don't want to let go. One or two people that we care about what they think. We care about what they think more than what the Most High thinks. When you got people who were put in psych wards illegally, thrown in St. Eve's, because they didn't want to follow the occult practices and they woke up to the truth of the Most High. People who was abused their whole life, who unplugged. Listen, they carried their cross. So when you look at other people's situation and you look at what we got going on, we got to ask ourselves, have we been through the worst? Have we really went full-fledged in this truth, leaving those behind who ain't with it? I don't think y'all understand. I do think y'all understand in this room, but I don't think a lot of people get it because people always thinking about love. I love this person. I love that person. No. You need to love the Most High. Let's go here. We are going to one moment. Let's see here. Let's go to let's go to First Peter. And if you're in this live stream gaining edification, hit the thumbs up. Actually, let's go to Matthew, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to Matthew chapter 10, verse 34. Matthew chapter 10, verse 34. And it reads, "Think not that I come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword." So Christ said, look, think not that I come to bring peace. Everybody think that they're supposed to be getting along. And what about unity? And what about, our families coming together, and I'm talking about extended family, everybody, friends, colleagues. Listen, the Lord himself says, think not I came to bring peace on this earth. I came to send a sword. Verse 35. "For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household." Yes. It says, listen, you're going to have variances with your father. You're going to have variances with your daughter, mother-in-law, daughter-in-law, mother. I mean, come on, man. That's immediate family where it's going to be separation. It's going to be division. The Lord is letting us know that he's behind that. Christ himself is behind this separation. Verse 35. Verse 36. "And a man's foes shall be they of his own household," those of his own family, those of his own fold, those of his own bloodline, even those of your own house. Listen, you know how many people come into this truth and begin to really enlighten themselves, and their family starts showing their horns? All of a sudden, that person was nice, friendly, everything. Had the utmost hospitality. And then all of a sudden, you changing your life. You don't want to eat shrimp, crab, pork, lobster. You're just not into these holidays no more. You really are getting into the book. You're starting to read. You're watching positive videos like this one, and you're gaining edification, and you're getting fired up in this word. And you're looking at also what's going on in the world, and you just evaluating everything, and you know that time is near that not only do you yourself have to get right, but you know that you want those around you to get right. In fact, to much as knowledge comes much grief. So although on one end you fired up about this truth, you still have grief, and it's weighing down on you because you want everyone to see this. You want to make sure that everybody know what's going on in the world, and that time is drawing near, that we got to make a conscious decision to change for the better. But instead, you get in the total opposite. When you try to bring that light into dark places and shine upon those in your immediate circle, they are rejecting you. They're having meetings about you. Their whole countenance changed. Their whole energy changed towards you. Now people acting funny. You walk in a room, people stop talking. You can feel it. You can hear the whispers coming off of them. Now people are looking at you like you evil, like you the devil. Because there's so many people who roam in clusters who don't want to change their damn lives, man. They don't want to change. And I know it's painful for you because you see it. You see it three-dimensionally. You know what's going on. And it's hard for you to just conceive the fact that nobody else can see it. In fact, they rejected. Listen, they rejected Christ as well. They rejected him as well when he tried to bring forth the truth. Just because something is foreign to them, just because it's foreign to them, immediately they reject it. Now, you got to use discernment as well. Some people, it's just not their time to know. This is where wisdom comes in, because nobody teaches the truth to be malicious. Don't get that pharisaical mind state when you're talking down on people, because some of us, we get so prideful and boastful when we get some knowledge, like the Lord didn't give us this knowledge, that we're talking at people and we're not talking to people. And there's a difference. But then you have some where you're talking to them, you're trying to condescend to the lowest level, and they still attack you. They literally attack you. When you have that issue, you need to get far, 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 far away from them, because that's not just them. That's not just them attacking you. That is a malevolent force. It's a demon. It's a spirit. And yes, we do have the ability to cast out demons and cast out spirits. But you got to understand that also the Most High would give certain people over to a reprobated mind. Reprobated meaning he gave them that strong delusion. It ain't nothing you can do to break it. Only thing you doing is casting your pearls before swine, wasting your time. When you need to be growing, when you need to be elevating, you need to make sure it's light in your lampstand. You need to make sure you and your immediate family that you're caring for is provided for and everything is taken care of. You don't have time to save the world. You got to get right, because these people will be foes. It says a man's foes shall be of his own household. What is a foe? A foe is an enemy. That's not somebody. A foe is an enemy, ladies and gentlemen. A foe is not somebody that you got to continue to talk and go back and forth with. Once a person show you their horns, you need to believe it. That's an enemy. Once somebody show you their narcissism, you are too good. You are too full of light. You are too on the right track. The Lord called you out of this world. You are too special to waste your time like that. The Lord needs to use you in other avenues. A man's foe shall be of his own household. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. He that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. The Lord say, if you love your father, you love your mama, you love them more than the Most High, more than Christ, you're not worthy of Christ. He's going to take you all by yourself, because everybody is judged by themselves. If you worried about what your mama's saying, if your mama is going to the church and your mama telling you, no, you need to come to church and follow this and follow that, and you know the Bible, and you know that everything the pastor is teaching is totally asinine, but you want to compromise your spirit, dealing with these dens of thieves, then when you're on judgment day, the Lord not going to look at you and be like, he ain't going to look at you and be like, oh, you know, I get it. Your mama said, you know, that you can follow Christmas. Your mama said it's okay to eat pork. Hey, boy, we grew up on pork. Your granddaddy, everybody ate pork. It's okay to disobey God's laws because your mama said it. He that loveth mother or father more than me is not worthy of me. Some of y'all working jobs that's very lucrative. Some of y'all working jobs that's high paying jobs, and you know it's compromising your ethics and your morals. You know you doing something that involves mass incarceration. It involves basically putting needles in people and destroying them. You doing certain things that you know you shouldn't be doing. But guess what? You got family sitting there. You better not leave that job. What you gonna do? You better not do this. How you gonna do that? And how you gonna do this? Now, when you face judgment day, because you were doing something that went against your code of conduct personally, what you gonna say at judgment day? Well, my dad told me to keep that job, even though that job was mass incarcerating our people, even though that job was harmful to people. No, it don't work like that. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. He that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. I don't care if it's your son or your daughter. You know, these children these days, some of y'all parents out here, y'all done made some mistakes. You're not perfect. You made mistakes raising your children. You should be able to admit that now. You made mistakes. You probably was neglectful. You probably made a lot of mistakes. But at the same time, you've changed now. You've changed. You're trying to seek the Lord. You're trying to do what's right. You got these badass kids of yours trying to guilt trip you. You got these badass kids trying to be demons towards you and guilt trip you for the mistakes you made. You didn't apologize, and everything you do is based on emotion because you feel guilty. Hell with feeling guilty. Every parent makes mistakes. Once that person is an adult, I'm going to tell you like this. Don't let them use you to keep you at don't let these you bring life into them. You bring them in this earth. Don't let these children use, sob stories against you because you made mistakes. No. They want to keep you on that same level you were years ago. Hell no. You want to seek the Lord. You ask for forgiveness because I think it should come a time where parents, ask for forgiveness for the mistakes they made to their children. But after that's done, it's done. Don't let these kids jerk you around and keep you at a low level. Once they grown, they grown. Let them be grown. You say your prayers and you let them be on their way. It says, he that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. You ain't worthy of Christ if you're gonna let people pull at your heartstrings and stop you from going to the truth. All right? And it reads, and he that taketh not his cross and follow after me is not worthy of me. If you're not willing to deal with the blunt of people's aggression, if you're not willing to deal with scoffers, if you're not willing to deal with people poking while you walking and talking behind your back, then you are not worthy of Christ. If you're not willing to carry that cross, you ain't worthy. He called you out. He specifically chose you to do a duty, to fulfill a purpose in his life. Verse 39. He that findeth life shall lose it, and he that loseth his life for my name's sake shall find it. Ooh. He that findeth his life shall lose it. What does that mean? Those who find the true life, the light, the truth. That life where when you leave this earth, that's just the beginning. You know that you live on. Your spirit lives on. You know that when you out of this playing field, you then go amongst the spiritual realm. And you become incorruptible. New bodies, new vessels. It's talking about real life. When you take up your cross and find of life, you shall lose it. Now, what does it mean by if you find of life, you shall lose it? That same life I just spoke of. What will you lose? Let's see. You'll lose opportunities. You'll lose finances. You'll lose friends. You'll lose family. Some people that you lose, it's going to be gut-wrenching. It's going to be so uncomfortable. Sometimes you got to make a decision to do something that's so hard to you, but you know it's right, to the point where you're on your knees and you in tears because you had to leave a certain situation. You had to make a decision to either move from one state to another, knowing all that you were leaving behind. But you know your purpose and you know the outcome if you didn't obey the Lord. And although it hurt and it was painful, when you look back on it, a lot of the times you're glad you did it. You found your life. You might have lost everything. You might have lost everything around you, but You found your life. He that findeth his life shall lose it, and he that loseth his life for my name's sake shall find it. If you lose your life for the Lord's sake, you'll find life. Trust me. Everything will change. Everything will change. He'll put you in your purpose. Everything that you were here to do, he'll make sure you're doing it. Verse 40. He that receiveth you receiveth me, and he that receiveth me receiveth him that sent me. So anybody who received the messages that he gave to you, brothers and sisters, who came into this truth, they received the Lord as well. See how powerful you are as God's people? That the Lord said, listen, I'm one with y'all. If somebody can receive the truth that you bringing out, they receive me. If they reject you, they reject me, because I pulled you out and you were obedient enough to follow. Let's go. We got more scriptures to go to. And if you gain an edification, mash that thumbs up on this video. We still got more scriptures to go into. Psalms chapter 27, verse 10. And it reads, when my father and mother forsake me, the Lord will take me up. Psalms 27 and 10. When my father and my mother forsake me, the Lord will take me up. I don't care what household you was born into. There was people born into households where molestation went down, abuse went down, children getting burnt with cigarettes. Mothers and fathers forsake their children. Had their children selling their bodies on the streets. This is the reality. It says, when my mother and father forsake me, the Lord will take me up. This is why he called you out, so the Lord can take you up. He don't care about your family. He don't care about the bloodline. Blood, listen, that don't even matter. If they forsake you, the Lord will take you up. Disown their children. I don't know what's going on with that person. They always been weird. They're peculiar. You know what? I think they need help. I think they need medication. You forsake your own child. Now, if you one who is prescribing your child some type of psychotropics, I hope that this influences you to get them off of it and really evaluate your child. Have some patience. Now, I'm not a medical physician. Only thing I did was say evaluate it. Evaluate it. Consider that maybe the issues they're having is spiritual. Maybe there's a spiritual void that got them acting out of order. Don't forsake them and give them to the pharmaceutical industry. Don't forsake them and allow the school to totally raise them. Don't forsake them and let the television raise them, because this is what happens. When mother and father forsake you, you left to your own devices. But when the Lord chose you, he gonna make sure, even if you fall, he gonna keep reeling you in. Because we raised off the hip hop culture. We raised off of violence. We watch it on the TV. We grow up, we get in trouble, we get in fights, we get kicked out of places, we go through all these things. A lot of the children that was forsaken. You got brothers that go back and forth to prison. And now you got these same brothers and sisters in the truth. Imagine that. Sisters that was on a strip pole because their parents forsake them are now coming to the truth. It says, when my mother and father forsake me, then the Lord will help me up. Take me up. Let's go. We got more. Let's go to Peter. Let's go to Peter. 1 Peter chapter 2 and 9. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, an holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye shall show forth the praises of him who have called you out of the darkness into his marvelous light. Yes. You the people. You are the nation of Israel. You are God's chosen people. You are a royal priesthood. You are a regal people. You was never meant to be serving other people. You were always meant to be the kings and queens of this here earth. You were always peculiar people. Peculiar meaning you ain't do what the rest of the world was doing. You were always different. They call you a weirdo. They call you strange. They say that something's wrong with you. Well, it's something wrong with them. It just so happens that everything is in reverse. It says, but ye are chosen generation. You the generation. You the forgotten people. You a royal priesthood. A holy nation. What does holy mean? Holy means you set apart. A peculiar people. Your fashion is not like other men's. Your fashion is not like other women's. You're different. You're royal. You're special. You exemplify class. You personify class. You exuberate majesty. You can't fight over corners when the whole world is yours, brothers. Only thing you got to do is serve your God. Don't let these frauds toss you to and fro like a pile of leaves. This is our word. Our code of conduct is listed in these scriptures. It says, a peculiar people, that ye shall show forth the praises of him who have called you out of the darkness into his marvelous light. This is why he called you out of the darkness. The Lord called you out of the darkness. He made you an outcast for what? So you can show forth the praises of him who have called you out of the darkness into his marvelous light. You're supposed to show all glory, honor, and praises to the God that called you out of the darkness into the light. It's supposed to be fruits that's shown. We got to not be hearers of the word, but doers of the word, because the purpose of him outcasting you wasn't for you to just feel special. No, it came with great responsibility. Now you got to bring forth praises, meaning, listen, no longer hiding the truth, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, the Bible tells us if you find it evil to serve the Lord, he's going to chew you up and spit you out. And I'm paraphrasing. Meaning, if you ashamed of God's word, whether you be Jew or Gentile, white, black, I don't care what color you are. If you ashamed of this truth, if it's corny to you, if you're a young brother of age and you think it's corny to serve the Lord, you think it's something soft about actually praising and worshiping the Most High and bringing forth the truth, guess what? You're going to get chewed up and spit out. It's time for y'all to stop hiding the truth. It's time for you to stop being ashamed. You are peculiar people, that ye shall show forth the praises of him who have called you out of the darkness into his marvelous light. You're supposed to show it. Don't take this word, listen to it. Let it nourish your mind. Let it nourish your spirit. But you go out into the world and you ain't representing. You're not representing. Don't let that happen, because you become no good to this truth. Let's go. We're getting warmed up now. We are going to Luke. We're going to Luke chapter 22. Actually, we're going to Luke chapter 6, verse 22. And it reads, "Blessed are ye when men shall hate you, and when they shall separate you from their company." Let's read that again. "Blessed are ye when men shall hate you, and when they shall separate you from their company, and shall reproach you, and cast you out, and your name is evil for the Son of Man's sake." Wow. That scripture spoke volumes just now. Let me read it one more time. "Blessed are ye when men shall hate you, and when they shall separate you from their company, and shall reproach you, and cast out your name as evil for the Son of Man's sake. Listen, the Lord says you bless when men hate you. Haters everywhere you go. Haters everywhere you go. Hey, let them hate because you are representing the Most High God. The world's supposed to hate you. When they should separate you from their company. When all of a sudden you're not getting those invites. When all of a sudden people not reaching out, people not checking on you, people pull their support from you. People are having social gatherings and functions and you're not getting invited, but they'll show you, they'll tag you in it. This is what they'll do to you. You'll be on social media. They'll tag you in it just to show you that you wasn't there. Look at us. It says, listen, when they shall separate you from their company, you should be blessed. Blessed are ye. They not on your level anyway. They not even nowhere near what you want. Blessed are you. 9 times out of 10, if you got around them people, you wouldn't enjoy yourself anyway. You'll quickly find out that these people ain't on nothing. They really ain't on nothing. Everything is, a lot of people are just putting on a facade. Nobody got straightforward talk anymore. I can't stand being around a lot of people who are just, only thing they do is mutter, gossip, or they ain't really got nothing to say that's going to spiritually elevate me. I can't be around that. Now, of course, we build on all things. Our conversations levels, they go on various dynamics. But if it's not ultimately helping us, righteous people tend to be few in words. Let's just put it that way. We don't really want to be around that. So they might have blocked you from their company. You would have got around them and be like, man, I'm ready to go home anyway. For some reason, when I get around these people, I'm just tired. They drain me. I would have been better off at home with a little glass of cognac and my Bible and just read my book with my glass of cognac and listen to something spiritual, because I ain't really finna be around these people. Seriously. It says, blessed are ye when men shall hate you, and when they shall separate you from their company, and shall reproach you, and cast out your name as evil. Listen, how is it that they hate you because you doing what's right? How is it that they hate you, but then they cast your name out as evil? You see how things are in reverse? They're saying that your name is evil. It says, verse 23, rejoice ye in that day and leap for joy. It says, rejoice in that day and leap for joy. For behold, your reward is great in heaven. For in the like manner did their fathers unto the prophets. So instead of y'all, a lot of the times, well, my family, they're isolating me. People are not messing with me, in this timid posture. Like, I don't know why people are, won't invite me. And what the Most High just say? Blessed are ye when men shall hate you, when they separate you from their company. He says, rejoice in that day. Leap for joy. For behold, your reward is great in heaven. For in the like manner did their fathers unto the prophets. Meaning, listen, you supposed to be jumping for joy. When everybody just starts showing their horns, when people start reviling you, hating you, when you feel rejected, you're supposed to be like, I'm on it. You're supposed to jump with joy. Throw your hands in the air. Praise the Most High. Do it in song. Do it in dance. Do it in spirit. Like, Lord, I am joyous right now. Because you showing me that you chose me. You comparing me to the prophets. It says, rejoice ye in that day and leap for joy, for behold, your reward is great in heaven. For in like manner did their fathers unto the prophets. The Lord compares you to the prophets in the book. When people start pulling support, when people start not inviting you, when people start acting shady, when people start lying on you, when people start spreading rumors, when people start hating, you're supposed to jump for joy. It means you're doing something right. That means he can use you. That means he got purpose for your life. He literally chose you. Listen, imagine a world full of zombies, right? We talking about trillions of people, right? You got all these people literally night of the living dead. They walking around spiritually dead. They don't want to see. They've been given over to reprobated minds, and they don't want to follow the Bible. They don't want to follow the truth. Imagine this. Most of the world, like most of the population is like this. All right. Most of the population is like this, but imagine this. You were one of the few where he said, in the womb. Remember what he told Jeremiah? He told Jeremiah in the womb he knew him. Imagine the Lord saying, that one, that one, that one, and actually picked you as one of the select few to go through what you're going through in your families right now. One who can see. Now you're being labeled conspiracy theorist. Now they labeling you all these titles, and now they looking at you like you crazy, but in actuality, you can see. The Lord blessed your eyes that you can see. He chose you. We got to change our posture with this. Why did God make you an outcast? God made you an outcast to fulfill his purpose. The scriptures show us over and over. He made you an outcast to rejoice and magnify his glory and his power and his majesty. He made you an outcast because with all these people around, it muddies the waters. He needs some pure water. All those people muddied the waters. Some of y'all were born into families, and your purpose was to conquer that family. Your purpose was to conquer some of the cults that your families might have been involved in. Some of the abuse, the generational curses, the neglect, the heartache, the pain, the loneliness. All those times when you was a child and you felt deserted. We felt stranded. Imagine what we felt at such a young age. We felt stranded. We felt abandoned. We felt lonely because we didn't process what the Lord was doing at that time. When the Lord was molding us, he was grooming us to be a certain way. He was molding us. We went through a great deal of discomfort growing up. We had a lot of anxiety. A lot of us had a heightened sense of the spiritual realm. We had a heightened sense of what was going on. That's why we were so anxious as children. That's why we were awkward. That's why we were quote unquote weird. And a lot of us still have some of that residue on us because, you know, we peculiar. We're different. And now the Lord is showing full-fledged who his people are. He's showing it. He's magnifying his glory. It's time for us to cast down all imaginations of our past that hinders us. Some of y'all have done things in your past that you're not proud of. Some of y'all have shame. Some of y'all have guilt. Some of y'all have pain. Some of y'all have all of these past situations that totally hinder you from the future. The Bible says cast down all imaginations. Because what you're doing is you denying the power of the God that created you. You had to go through certain things to make you the person that you are. Life itself is a series of events that are supposed to be learning experiences. Life itself is a test. Life is but a dream, as they say it. Because listen, the afterlife is the real life. What you're doing is being conditioned to being incorruptible at the end. But he chose you. And what's going to have to happen is everything that rejars these negative memories of the past, anything that rejars and kindles those fiery darts in your life, it's your responsibility to get rid of those things. Because how can you cast down imaginations if you still flirting with certain ideas, if you still hanging with certain people, if you still entertaining certain demons that may be in your circle? How are you gonna reach your full potential of your past if you still intermingle with your past? Sometimes you got to cut it off from the root. Do you understand? You got to cut it off from the root before your works begin to manifest. As harsh as it sounds, listen, I've been called cold-hearted. I've been called callous, stone cold. I've been called unforgiving. And I know a lot of you righteous people know what I'm talking about. Because you've been called the same. Whether it's been said to you in your face or behind your back. But if you're a stern, firm believer in the Lord, they've called you names. They said that person is unforgiving. That person thinks they're better than us. That person is selfish. That person doesn't love his family. That person doesn't love us. Love is telling them the truth. Love is letting the glory of the Most High be magnified in your life where it shines. Love is speaking from the rooftops and putting the knowledge out there, putting the truth out there so people can make their own decision in life. Because we all got to carry our own cross. That's love. Love don't get caught up in emotions. Love ain't got nothing to do with no emotions. Love is blunt. Love is true. Love is real because when you love your children, you're going to do it, whatever it takes to keep them from veering somewhere off. People tell you time and time again, hey, look, my mom and dad whipped me out of the penitentiary. That's love. You spare the rod, you spoil the child. It's just that people are so used to having their ears tickled. People are so used to being fake. People are so used to being vain that when the truth is spoken, they can't handle the truth. They can't handle it. And that's why it's so difficult for people of the Most High to be around everybody in this earth. The Lord called you out. He called you out to glorify him. Let's stop hiding the truth. Let's stop putting things in secret. Share this video as well. Share this video. And everybody in here, mash the thumbs up. If you've gained some edification in this video, now we can go into some Q&A. I love to build with y'all. Let's spend a few moments. Yeah, Tavon said anxiety start acting up. Yeah, that anxiety is a demon. Cast it down, man. And sometimes when you a person who suffers from anxiety, you got to see what the root of it is. There's always a root to it. A lot of times brothers and sisters alike, watching porn causes social anxiety. And you got to remember, anything done in the dark will show in the light. Certain behaviors we have causes anxiety. You got to know that. Like sometimes something that you may eat causes anxiety. Believe it or not, all these chemicals in the food, start reading ingredients. If it's something in that food that you can't pronounce, it's a chemical that 9 times out of 10 gonna go directly to your brain. A lot of things can cause anxiety. It could be something that you've been listening to. Like, y'all don't realize how much negativity we put through these optics. We watching TV. You watching movies where it's too much going on, all these flashing lights, and some people that makes them anxious. They may not be anxious while they watching it, but later on they get anxiety. Yeah. Let's see. Somebody said, do you still have Sabbath Bible studies? Yeah. I did a video yesterday. I'm also going to be going live on Patreon tonight. I'm going to be going live on Patreon tonight. If you don't follow me on Patreon, the link is in the description box. It seems like all the hardcore information that's going on right now in society, I'm really gonna have to dig in and put that on Patreon. Somebody said, let me see, comment here. Aquino says, tell the conscious community to get back to the root. Jah is the truth. Your channel is the only one talking real facts. I don't know where to walk. All praises to the Most High. Somebody said, are you a loner? Absolutely. Absolutely. At one point, I can honestly say that I was a recluse at best. I'm what you call an introverted extrovert. That's what I would consider myself, meaning like naturally I'm introverted, but when we talk about shining the light and magnifying the Most High, speaking from the rooftop, I was forced to adapt. I was forced to adapt to being what you call a public figure. Still I haven't adapted. Somebody said they a caveman. Yeah, I'm pretty much a caveman too, man. I still haven't adapted to being a public figure, because when I go outside, people know who I am. So it's not something that I'm like used to. I could be in a grocery store and somebody be like, "Hey, new breed," and it's cool. I love it because it's always like positive energy that I get from people who watch the channel and stuff. But naturally, I don't like attention. I'm not an attention seeker. I don't like being like they say it's called an ambivert. Yeah, I think that's what I am, an ambivert. Let me see. Somebody said, my question is, am I allowed to have riches, or is that not possible when following the Most High? Because I'm trying to figure out, I have dreams and visions and do something great. I'm in confusion. Well, confusion is of the devil, so we're going to cast that right on up out. Yes, it's nothing wrong with having riches. When you think about the prophets of the Bible, you got King David, King Solomon. I mean, listen, Christ and the disciples wasn't poor either. They wasn't destitute. They were actually kings and rulers. They actually had finances. Christ had a boat. Him and the disciples had a boat. Back then, that would be equivalent to a jet, having a private jet. A boat was powerful. So, no, man, no. Here's the issue. The Bible tells us the love of money is the root of all evil, what some coveted after. They have erred from the faith. All right? That means people who covet money, people who love money, they err from the faith. Money shouldn't be your sole purpose in life. But the Bible goes on to tell us that money can be a defense. So, nah, man, you got to add balance to it. There's nothing wrong with having things, man. Yeah, absolutely. Somebody said God makes us wealthy. He does. Listen, when you go to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, whenever you get a chance, read the whole chapter. When you go to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, it tells us the curses that will overcome our people if we didn't follow God's commandments. And it also tells us the blessings. And when you and the blessings include everything. I mean, you're going to have a lot. Your home will be plenteous in goods. Your flock will increase. Your family will flourish. So it's nothing wrong with having things, man. There's nothing wrong with having things. And here's the thing. I'm going to show you how Satan tricks these celebrities. This is how Satan really tricks these celebrities, because check this out. If we would honor God's laws and go back to our book, he would literally reward us. Everything we need and want and desire. He would make sure we got everything we want. He would make sure we plenteous in goods, right? But this is what Satan do. He tricks people into doing something they already have spiritually. The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. The devil is a damn liar, bro. Like, you literally already have everything. It's either, if you follow this word, you have everything. It's either stored up in the heavens or it's stored up and the Lord is just waiting to give it to you until you're obedient to his word. But Satan will come through and he'll give you that quick fix. He'll give you that quick fix. Look, listen, bow down and worship me. I can give you all this. Listen, how you going to give me something that I already have? Only thing I do is honor God. So then you got these celebrities that sell their souls, sign on a dotted line, and end up, in total regret, looking in the mirror and can't even see themselves. You got these celebrities losing their damn minds, can't even be left alone because every time they alone, they being tormented by demons, all just to have things when those things were already yours. Yep. Shemaine says that the commandments are our constitution. That's a fact. Summer Marshall said Yeshua about to get the title deed of earth back real soon. That's why the devil was mad. That is a fact. That is a fact. Oh, he's running out of time. And you can, every time you turn on the news, I don't know about y'all, but when I hear the news and they airing certain things and certain broadcasts come on, I'm like, these people are desperate. I mean, they straight desperate. They know their time running out. Everything they say, you hear it in their voice. They reek of desperation. This system is falling and they know it. Yeah. Princess says some celebs even transfer their consciousness to new bodies to become immortal clones. Oh, wow. I got to research that. One thing Satan does with these celebrities is he promised them to be immortal. Think about the records like Biggie. Think about Biggie Smalls' life after death. Think about it. Like they always, every time they die, Satan always promises them at the beginning that I'm going to immortalize you. You will live forever. And that's what they think. But they only listen, they do this on purpose. It's a big ritual. Somebody said, is smoking pot a sin? Listen, let me clear this up because this has been something that's been coming around like quite often. Marijuana, hemp, listen carefully. Actual hemp, the plant, no THC, has its purpose in this earth. All right? You can have organic hemp seeds. You can eat those. They actually help you. You can use CBD oils. The key is it doesn't have THC. Are you listening? The THC is the chemical component that makes you high. Okay? Now, what happens when you smoke marijuana is you open your pineal gland for demons. You make yourself sensitive for demons, for spirits, for malevolent forces to actually enter. And this is why some people hallucinate off marijuana. Some people smell and hear things that are not there. Some people can't function, right? Some people become very lazy and stagnated. That's because smoking marijuana is a sin. It's bad for your brain. It's bad for your body. It actually, studies show that it can cause Alzheimer's. Also, on top of all of that, they got a chemical now in a lot of the marijuana that they selling called astrazine. It's called astrazine. And this same chemical compound was used to turn male frogs into female frogs. So what you got going on with the marijuana is actually effeminizing people. Effeminizing men. I should be straight up with that. It causes hormonal problems. It causes hormonal problems to men and women. I've seen women who were nice looking back in the day, talking about fine. All they smoke is weed, right? Some of these women got mustaches. A lot of you not. Some of these women I went to high school with got whole mustaches from smoking weed. I ain't making this up. I've seen it. Some of these men that keep smoking weed, they don't even walk like men no more. They don't even walk like men. They walk like their testosterone has been stripped from them. These dudes, I mean, I'm telling you, that it's the weed. A lot of this weed be gotten a lot of dudes acting real shady, bro. Real feminine like. Yeah, absolutely. It weakens you. Now, some people, somebody said stop telling people's business. They don't know who I'm talking about. I ain't say no names. But it's true, man. I mean, think about it. The Bible says your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit. So why are you gonna put that in your body? Now, some would say, well, new breed. Don't you be drinking? Don't you be drinking alcohol? Yeah. Christ drunk alcohol. Christ turned water into wine, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it's biblical to drink in moderation. Actually, for infirmities, alcohol can help you. Somebody said he drunk wine. Also, yeah, wine is good. Also, it talks about strong drink as well, all through the Apocrypha. It talks about, like, when, let me tell you something. As men of the truth, we carry a lot on our shoulders. Sometimes you need that drink to clear your mind. A quick cathartic release never hurt anybody. Me personally, I'd like to have me a few shots of that cognac, I like to have some wine. I like champagne every now and then. But I'm not a wino. You understand? I'm not a drunkard. I'm not somebody who get drunk every day. You know what I'm saying? That's where it becomes a sin. But the marijuana, on the other hand, is not biblical. It's not biblical to be out here smoking weed. Now, if you want to use hemp for all its healthy properties, because hemp does have good properties. I use CBD. I use organic hemp seeds. Hemp is also good for certain fabrics, clothing, and all of that, man. Hemp has its purpose on this earth. But for you to smoke and get high, you just making excuses. Yeah. Somebody said you don't know how many hands touch the weed that you smoke. That's true. Somebody said talk more about weed. What's the talk about? Is it helping you? Is it doing better for your life? Is it helping you in life? That's the question. Or is it leaving you stagnated ultimately? Somebody said ABC spirits. Yeah. There's definitely spirits that come with drinking too. That's why you got to be careful. Here's a wise philosophy that I live by when it comes to when you want to, get a little buzz, when you want to get nice, right? When you want to have a drink, when you want to feel good, when you want to have a good time. Here's my philosophy that tends to work for me. Might not work for you, but it works for me. My philosophy is that don't drink when you pissed off. Don't drink when you having a bad day. Don't drink when you having a bad day. Drink when you having a good day to make that good day better. Yeah, that's my philosophy with drinking. Because when you drinking and you having a bad day and you literally relying on that drink to try to make your day better, that's how you get hooked on alcohol. You know what I'm saying? You having a bad day, so I got to go have a drink. Nah, don't drink when you having a bad day, because then you can have an adverse effect too. You can be one of those bad drunks. You understand? Now you drunk, all your problems come out. Now everybody got to deal with your problems because you was having a bad day and decided to get drunk. Whereas though, if you having a good day, right, and then you drink to make that day better, it's more celebratory. It's more celebratory. Somebody said drinking is trash. Well, hey, you saying that Christ drinking is trash then. Be careful what you say. Christ turned water into wine. Like, don't talk foolish, man. The prophet's drunk. It's about not being a drunkard. Like, stuff, don't talk crazy, man. If that's something you don't do, you ain't got to go there with it. Let's see. Somebody said it helps the anger that comes with the mental illness. The medication doesn't help as much as the cannabis. How about praying to the Most High? You shouldn't be relying on anything to make you shouldn't be relying on any substance to make you feel better about life, period. That's what you need to know. Any substance. That's why I said drink to feel better. Not drink when you're having a good day, not a bad day. Don't rely on any substance to make you feel better. Somebody said, advice on staying clean while in a relationship. I feel super spiritually attacked by gross thoughts in my mind no matter what. What do you mean by that? Are you a male or a female? You need to clarify if you a male or a female. I think the name started with an L. Female. Okay. That's interesting. Thank you for the super chat, family. So you saying that you in a relationship, but you getting thoughts of, like, I mean, you have to be clear about what your thoughts are. Are you getting thoughts about other people? Is it thoughts about other people? I'm trying to help this person out in the chat. Somebody said, no, man, I ain't gonna repeat that. Random sexual thoughts about my male partner. I mean, I don't get it. If that's your significant other, what's the issue? I'm not getting it. You in a relationship and you having thoughts, sexual thoughts about your partner. What's the issue? I'm just going to ignore that. That makes no sense. I don't get it. Aren't you supposed to have thoughts about your partner? Like, I don't know. Somebody said, New Breed, explain why women get mad when I say no to them in fornication, and what's the best way to explain? No to them in fornication. What's the best? I don't understand that question either. I don't get it. Man, listen, in the Q&A portion of the videos, y'all, put some thought into what you're asking. Like, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but seriously, like as you can see, I read my chat. Like, come correct. Put a little thought into it. What are you asking me exactly? Hold on. Somebody asked a question here. Dr. T says, hey, New Breed, how can I start a spiritual journey? What should I start? Is it too late to start for me to get a better relationship with the Most High God? No, as long as you live in it, ain't too late, bro. You start right here in this book. You see that book behind me? Start right there. Start right there. Open and read. Continue watching these type of videos. Study on them. Study to show yourself approved. Honestly, you just being in this chat, you already started, man. But it's never too late as long as you living. And I wanted to say this about life. Like, y'all gotta understand, man, we only live one life. While you living, every day that goes by, it's an opportunity to better yourself and do what's right. And we can't live this one life in fear either. Like, so many religious organizations have set the spirit of fear on us, of death, and seeing what's after this. We ain't supposed to be afraid of death. My only fear is that when I'm on my deathbed, right? My only fear is that I have regret far as I didn't do this. Oh, I had so much to do. I had so much life to live. I didn't get to do that. I didn't get to do this, and I didn't get to do that. That's why, as long as you living now, man, travel, enjoy your life, have a good time, be balanced with this truth. Remember, you on a marathon. This is not a race. This is a marathon with this truth. But keep in mind, Rome wasn't built in a day, but it damn sure was destroyed in a day. So it's like, know that everything that you got is a process. All the knowledge is a process. Everything I'm saying is a process. Like, even with your family and friends, I don't want nobody to end this stream and go out into their family and friends and just start going off. It's balance. Let's see. Somebody said, what advice do you have for a single woman with a child that wants to move out of town and start over but has no one? Now, when you say child, I mean, I really think you mean adult. You're saying child, but if they have the means to move to another state, if they have the means to move to a whole nother state, then they might not be a child. He is older than 19. He's not a child, he's a grown man. I hope that answers your question. You realize that that's a grown man, right? Not a child. A grown man. Oh, a female. Oh, she's a female. Oh, that puts things into a different perspective. I don't know if you a man posting this, but I know how brothers are with their daughters, and I understand that does put things into a perspective. But at the same time, guess what? She's a grown woman. Only thing you could do is tell her, only thing you could do is speak wisdom and let it be known what you think. But it ain't no baby. It's not a child. It's not a child. See, around that age, we got to start doing different with our families. Like around that age, 18, 19, our daughters need to be having husbands. Honestly, that's the ages that they were getting married back in the day. And as fathers, let me tell you something, as fathers out here, you got to start scoping some of these young gentlemen out here who are part of good families. Like, you raising daughters and you know that it's certain young men raised in that environment. Look, you got to start scoping these young men and being like, look, that's a good guy right there. I'm not saying straight up arranged marriage, but I don't see nothing wrong with that either. But at least veer her in the right direction. Veer her in the right direction. Don't let her just go out in the streets and pick some of these fools out here. Don't let her go through a whole dating phase where she going through all kind of things. You know what I'm saying? Try to kind of guide her. Like, look, what about young man down the street? His family is, family is decent. They God-fearing. They love the Most High, But anyway, that's a whole nother topic for another day. Man, we had a lot of people in this chat. All praises to the Most High. Hopefully this message permeated and resounded in everybody. We definitely going to be going live again later on Patreon. All right. If you don't follow me on Patreon, the link is in the description box. I'd like to thank each and every one of y'all for watching. Thank y'all for everybody who sent super chats. I appreciate it. Highly appreciate y'all. I want y'all to know that. I appreciate y'all support, the ones who do support. Thank y'all. Y'all have a great one. With that being said, shalom and peace.